So, it's time to explain how I do rendering, okay? Hold on. I need to deafen. Jag ska definitely live. I'll be back. Okay. Um, as you can see, I am using a totally different program than Ibis Paint, but I have these sketches here that I was thinking, okay, I can render these a bit. So I have the layer on top here, which is my line art, and then the layer below is empty. I usually have base colors on the layer beneath this, and I'm gonna use a tool called Lasso Fill. You also have this on Ibis Paint. It's on the specials tab. It's gonna be like, it looks like a pen, and then there's little stars around it. It's gonna have Lasso Fill there. So what I like to do is I like to take a gray color and I like to color all the flats I'm gonna color in the render. I like to do that. This is just how I like to do it currently, because I also have when I either am like lazy, I don't want to render that much. I do like a kind of simple rendering, or I like go into a zone and start like just shading when I don't know. I don't think about it when I do like insane rendering. So like I just start like adding shadows, adding blush, adding different textures everywhere into the hair. Like I don't think much when I do that. But when I do simple rendering, it's kind of different. Okay, I won't bother with coloring the legs in right now. But this is how much we're gonna do a bit. Okay, when I have this grayish color on a flat, like I just do this, I like to transparency lock this gray layer. You probably have that too. It's called like alpha lock or something, but it's a lock. It means that it won't color outside the lines. Now, I choose a skin color. You can choose whatever. I usually have like it's around the red or orange scale, like in the middle here. And it's like either light, or if I want to do like a brown color, like this is my Sona, so it's not really that brown, but say this, maybe a bit like this. Yeah, that fits. I can probably show you a lighter one because that's what your Sona has. So let's do this. Okay. It doesn't really matter that much that it's like outside the lines, like on the hair, because you're gonna fix that later. Now, after that, we think about blush or like underneath the eyes. So we go a little bit darker on the red scale and do a little bit here, like this, and then the same on the other side. Also, I usually add it around the cheeks and also above the eyes, and then a little like this for a nose, as you can see. And usually just like simple like this for the ears. And if I want to be a little bit extra, I take a brush and then I shade a bit around the jawline. And then inside mouth, we take like a darkish, lightish red, like this. It depends on you if you want to have teeth or a tongue. I usually have a tongue, so I have an even darker shade of red. I put it there. And then I would start on eyes. I have like an off-white, which means like it's not fully white. It's like just beside white here. You can see it. I don't know why they do that, but we just do that. So we do this. Now, I'm not doing a light source thing, or like, where's the light source come from? Is it come from here? Is it come from there? But we can still do that. We just don't need to think about it right now, in my mindset. But, you know. Then I like to have a little bit of shadow here for the eyes. Just like almost at the middle. And let's say eye color is blue. I color that in. And then this is like, I don't like adding too much shading on this part of it. So I move on to the next one. I go back to lasso fill. And my hair is bluish here. So then I start here. I go on top of the same layer. I don't use too many layers. You can do this into a separate layer. You just add one more layer and you do a clipping mask. It only goes to the layer beneath it, so you need to be careful with that. Let's say because you have this as a clipping mask on top of this gray layer, and then you have another clipping mask above this. It would only apply to the blue you've added here, for example. But yeah, we're not going to think about too much of that right now. We add blue here. And I also, myself, I have like a yellow streak here, and this is green, but, you know, we can just make it blue for now. Also, I'm not too much in the... I'm not that good of a clothing shader. Like, I don't shade clothes that much, but I just add, like, it... I like a little bit darker shades for, like, streaks across the clothes, for, like, to show you that it's like a wrinkle there. But I can show you that a bit later if you want that too. Oh, this is not inside of the gray color thing I did. So I unlock it, the transparency, and I just add it there. I just do that, and then I lock it again. So we have this blue here. I'm gonna take a little bit darker shade, and I go across the edges, like a little triangle. I usually do that. I don't do too much. I just do this. Like, this is how far my simple shading goes. And I know this is more of a sketch as well. So if you're also like in this sketchy phase of like, this is where you're adding color and this is on top of a sketch, you can just erase the parts you don't like, or you would add another layer on top of that for line art, if you would say. And then I like to go back to my brush, take a little smooth one, take an even a little bit darker than that, and I like to do this. This just show a little bit more shading here. It's not that advanced either. It's just like, that's just how it looks like. Now I want to go back to the eyes. I also take a darker shade here. I color pick it first, and I take a darker shade, and I match it according to the shadow I have here. And then I also like to do, since we have this blue, I go on the color wheel and I take the color right across and I put it here. Just to show a bit like diversity. I also have blue on my cheeks, so I'll add that. I think what you need to focus on is not too much of rendering shading, but if you want to, you can do that. Like it's up to you what stage you want to learn on. But this is usually how I've been doing it recently, because I can't be asked to do that much. But if you can see on my model down right, then I would probably go back into brushes, and I would take a smooth brush, like, okay, I can't color outside, but I will add a layer on top of the sketch layer on top here. And this is the brush I'm using. Okay. And I will probably take the blue again, take a darker color, and just start outlining everything. Like adding lines, like smooth lines for all the hair and everything. Just to make it look a bit smooth, cleaner-ish. I don't do that much. But if we want to do that, this is usually how I go about it. But okay, let's say, okay, you see this? This is all outside the lines. You don't want that. So I go back to lasso fill. You don't have this function, so I'll just use an eraser instead. I'll just erase it. Erase the color there. And I just add back the color with lasso fill again. If it's inside the lines. Okay, this looks fine. I don't mind that. I go back to lasso fill. And I'm wearing a maid outfit here, so we'll go black first for here. Because I'm thinking that's what it is. I just add black here. Like, sure, it's a bit messy, but I usually clean it up later when I want to. And then I take white. It's a little white bluish. It's usually, that's how I do it. Like, I take the base color, I take a little bit darker shade, and then I add, like, streaks like this, depending on if it's, like, flowing right down, like this, then I either add streaks, like, just, like, straight like this, or I do this. I don't, because, personally, I don't know how clothes work, so I would need Turtle's help for that. So Turtle knows a bit better on how cloth folding stuff works, but I would do this and or add, like, there's little frills here, so I would also add a little bit across that. And then this and an even darker shade like usual, although you can't see it that well. That's usually how I do it, like, for simpler. If you want to know, like, more, like, when I go deep into it, it's gonna be a bit too much. Like, I can't really explain. But also, I like to go back to airbrushes, and this is locked, right? So I take a little bit airbrush here, like beneath, like between the hair and the face, because it looks nice. Yeah. That is my tutorial of 12 minutes.